The home buying process. I get that question asked tons of times, especially from first-time home buyers, and I can understand why. There's a lot that goes behind the curtains, and yes, it's more than just looking up on Zillow for that dream house. So if you're in the market and you're looking for a house this 2023, make sure to keep watching this video because I'm gonna break down everything from start to finish, and I'm gonna explain every process that entails the home buying journey. So I'm going to set you up for success in today's market. Step number 1 is going to be your finances. So the first thing you're going to need before you even begin looking at houses is getting a pre-approval letter. This letter basically states how much you're qualified for. Lender, before giving you this letter, is going to look at your credit score, your income, and your debt to income ratio. It's very important that you don't go with the first lender you meet. And yes, this applies for realtors as well. So you want to ask strategic questions to these lenders to make sure that you are a good fit. Some questions you can ask are, what type of loan do you recommend for me? More often than not, people assume they have to put a 20% down payment. That is not the case anymore. There are tons of loans and programs out there that allow you to put a very low down payment, if any at all. There's no better person than to advise you what type of loan than a lender. If you're in the situation where you don't have a lot of cash to put as down payment, or you don't want to put any down payment at all, make sure to let your lender know and ask about down payment requirements or what alternatives do you have. Now, this is a very important question you must always ask, and what is the interest rate and the annual percentage rate, also known as APR? And there are many other questions to ask. If you want to download my free home buying guide, make sure to go to my website and download that guide right now because it has all the resources you're ever going to need in this home buying journey. Other things to keep in mind during the process is to start working on your credit score. The lowest is anywhere from a 560 to a 580. However, the higher credit score you have, the lower interest you'll get. It's less risky to the bank, so they'll be more willing to give you a better rate. If you have a lower credit score, you can also talk to your lender about how to get that credit score up. They more than likely would be helping you on increasing some points. And if your situation is a little bit harder, they might recommend some credit repair companies that can get your credit score boosted in a period of 3 to 6 months. And the last step before we move on to step number 2 is going to be to choosing your realtor. And of course, if you're in the San Antonio market, I would love to be considered your realtor. So make sure to give me a call. My number's right here. If you're looking to buy anywhere outside San Antonio, I can also help you. I know agents all over the nation and would love nothing less than to recommend you somebody that can guide you through this process. After we've chosen our realtor, we're moving forward to step number 2, the home searching area. So your realtor would more than likely try to get your criteria. I personally like to do a buyer success meeting before we start anything. And during that meeting, we get your criteria. What are your musts? What are your wants? What are your needs? We set up expectations as to what's going on right now in the market, what to expect with the market, what to expect when you're putting an offer. Just setting all the expectations as to timelines, what to expect, what the process is going to look like, and what your criteria is going to be. With all of that narrowed down, we're going to start doing our search. You will either get personalized listings to your email, or you can just send possible houses that you found to your realtor and start comparing. So once we're starting this home search and we have potential houses listed out, your realtor is going to make sure to schedule showings for each and every one of them. We're going to adapt to your schedule and your time. We're going to go take the time to go see each one of them, take out the pros and the cons. Each realtor works differently. Number 3. So you think you found the one. You love the house. You think it's perfect. The numbers make sense. It falls under your budget. What's next? That's when we start crafting an offer. Your realtor is going to tell you everything about the house, is going to run a CMA, also known as a comparable market analysis, where it explains all the properties that have sold and give you a rough idea whether or not the house is priced correctly. Your realtor is going to help you make that offer as appealable as possible. The realtor is going to make sure to educate you as how the market is going and what the best strategy to making that offer is. Don't be discouraged if your offer didn't get accepted. It happens. But just know that there are 3 routes after you submit an offer that it can go. 1, your offer is accepted. Amazing. We can move on to the next step. Your offer gets rejected. Well, that is a bummer, but we're just gonna move on and look for other alternatives and other houses. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world. And option number 3 is that your seller might come up with a counter offer. And that basically means that the seller didn't accept all of your terms, so it's coming up with a different option. And it's up to you whether you take that or you counter offer the counter offer. So if your offer did get accepted, you will have to submit an EMD, also known as earnest money deposit. That is just basically a good faith money. That is you telling the seller, hey, I am serious about buying your house. Normally the earnest money is roughly around a 1 to 2% of the purchase. That earnest money you will submit as soon as possible after the contract has been executed, which means after both you and the seller accepted the offer. That money goes to title. It does not go to the realtor. It does not go to the seller. It goes to a title company. After that money is in title, officially under contract, we are going to start our part 4, which is due diligence. So that basically means that we are going to send our inspector out there as soon as possible and within our option period. I don't think I mentioned what an option period was. Basically is a period of time anywhere from 3 to 7 days. You can make it as shorter or longer as you want, but the shorter it is, the more your offer will stand out. And that option period basically lets you back out for any reason. You woke up in a bad mood and you no longer want to buy a house, you get your earnest money back and you can back out. You broke a nail and now you don't want to buy a house, you can do that as well. But in a most serious note, let's say you send your inspector during that option period and you found out the roof has a hole or the foundation has problems and you really don't want to deal with that, so you back out. That's the beauty of the option period. So back to the subject, during our step 4, during our due diligence period, we're going to send our inspector out there to make sure that there's no underlying issue that our bare eye didn't catch when we were too busy enjoying and seeing the future in that house. During that time, your lender is going to send out an appraisal. An appraisal is a professional that goes evaluate the house and determines the value of it. So if the seller is asking for a certain price and the appraisal came at lower than that, then you are going to either have to renegotiate the price or you can terminate the contract and you get your earnest money back. If the inspection came back and had certain issues, no house is perfect. You will always find issues. So if those issues are non-deal breakers, you can always negotiate to the seller, either fix those issues or give you money towards concessions at closing for you to deal with afterwards. Finally, during that process, we're also going to start looking and shopping for homeowner insurance. You have 2 options. You can either go with an insurance broker. Some are good, some are bad. It's like everything in life. I do have a great insurance broker I would love to recommend to you guys. If you're interested, let me know if you are. Or you can always just go the DIY route and start looking for yourself. Just know you may not always get the best rate. So that's basically our step 4. We did our due diligence by sending an inspector. We negotiated any repairs. Our lender sent out the appraisal and we start shopping around for homeowner insurance. Now step 5 is going to be the closing time. Title is going to start doing its search, making sure that there's no liens, no issue blocking title, and make sure that it's completely clear. They're also going to order survey if there wasn't one provided prior to. The lender will review your file once again, so remember not to switch jobs, get new loans, or anything for that matter, because they will check it again and make sure that you haven't done anything crazy or different from when they first checked it. So once your lender does that, they're going to also give a clear to close. Those are going to be the magic words. And once we hear that, we are basically going to schedule closing and we're going to just go to the title company and sign our documents and get the keys to our new house. There you have it, 5 easy steps on how to buy a house. Keynotes to remember: finances first, Then we start searching for the house. Then we're gonna present an offer with our pre-approval. Then we're gonna start doing our due diligence, and we're gonna start working towards closing. So those 5 easy steps. How successful you are in this market depends on the team behind you. So make sure to get a great lender and a great realtor on your corner, because those two will make or break. So as long as you have great people behind you, you're gonna do amazing, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna find a great house. And if you have any other questions, make sure to comment anything below, follow me on social media, and go download that buyer's guide from my website. See you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.